Australian rules football? In the US? That's right. The United States Australian Football League is in a city near you. Go to USAFL.com, find your team, check them out. We're a group full of men and women just like you. Join us for the fun athletic competition. Stay for the camaraderie.
We are the champions!
Log on and sign up to join your team at USAFL.com.
Very good afternoon and welcome here to the Aussie Sparks exhibition match against the USAFL at the 2017 USAFL Nationals at San Diego Sports Park. Surf Cup Sports Park, San Diego, Del Mar. Peter Holden with you in commentary. Great to have your company. It is the Aussie Sparks versus the USAFL All-Comers. We'll explain exactly who is in the All-Comers squad in just a moment's time and who's playing from what team and some of the stars to look out for from the USAFL and, of course, the Aussie Sparks. You'll see some predominantly wearing a purple jumper. They are from the Montreal Angels as a big tackle's laid on then, courtesy of the player coming through in Causley Todd. Umpires pulled out a free kick for a little bit too high there. Those predominantly wearing the purple are the Montreal Angels. Those wearing the black and white stripes are the Magpies, are from the New York Magpies. Wearing the red and yellow, they're from the Sacramento Suns. You saw one player wearing white with a blue sash with number 1 on the bat. That's Sarah Pulliam. She is from the Texas Heat. Of course, the predominantly blue jumpers, as you see running around, are the Aussie Sparks, and we'll be calling them in action as Chloe Layton goes long and towards the forward line. Strong mark taken. Johnson Leach takes it and she'll be lining up for goal from around about 40 metres out directly in front. The Aussie Sparks are a touring side of women aged between 16 and 26. We'll go into more detail in a moment with that as she goes to the left-hand side and will register as a minor score. The Aussie Sparks one behind and the USAFL yet to score as we wait for the umpire to give the signal and make sure that's all clear. And then we'll get going once more with the ball to come from full back. The Aussie Sparks, of course, have been doing a 2-week tour throughout California, going through several colleges and looking at the NCAA system and the way that they prepared their athletes and trying to get them ready for the AFL Women's Draft. And, of course, they took on, well, they actually did training, rather, should I say, with San Francisco and the Sacramento Suns. They played like a friendly tag game against Sacramento because some of the sides were preparing for the Nationals, so they didn't want a full contact game. But now here's their opportunity, with the Sparks playing 2 games against the USAFL All-Comers. As we speak, Maguire went in for the football, couldn't quite squeeze it out. Also fighting hard in there was Rogerson. Hurry kick away for the Sparks is bouncing away and over the boundary line and out of bounds to the left-hand side. Now, and the team, Melissa Freckleton and Emily Maguire, both have been drafted to AFLW clubs. Emily Maguire was taken as pick 33 to the Fremantle Dockers, while Melissa Freckleton was end up being taken as a free agent. That was after the draft period. They had a space on the list, the main primary list for the GWS Giants. They made the phone call and Freckleton was added to their list. That goes along with, of course, Cara Donnellan, Juddy, who has been helping as one of the coaches in this tour. And Juddy, of course, is the captain of the Fremantle Dockers AFLW team. They're coached by Nicole Graves as the quick shot on goal was out of the pack there by Leach, and it's just away to the left-hand side. Now going in to try and chase up the ball is Blythe. She's over the top of it. Had to do some good work to get around. Fires off the hand pass. Now they try and centre it again, but it's excellently cut off there by Rakowski, who now had the football and get on the right boot. She decides to go long, up the line with the kick. Went through the hands of Moreau. Moreau juggled it beautifully and got it back and got on the right boot. Went in the Hemingway direction. Just got past her. Awkward bouncing football. Now the opportunity here for Montreal. I say Montreal because it's a Montreal jumper. They're part of the USAFL All-Stars team. They go with a hand pass. The kick back in towards the middle of the ground was dropped. They'll try and go back in again for a second effort. The Sparks. Nice little hand pass. Now going in the Maguire direction. One bounce. She's chasing after the football. Going at it at full steam. Picks it up. Does a bit of dancing work. Spins around. Gets on the right boot. Goes for goal. It looks good. It is. Sparks get there first. Absolute class there. Spinning around on a sixpence. Emily Maguire gave herself space, unloaded, and you can see what she was taken as pick 33 for the Fremantle Dockers. 1-1-7 the Sparks, yet to score for the USAFL All-Stars, made up of Montreal, New York, Sacramento, and the Texas Heat. So ball back in the middle of the ground. Rakowski from the Montreal Angels is doing the ruck work, whereas for the Sparks, Rebecca Dunbar, who's out of the Northern Territory. Look at the two giants in the middle of the ground. Fantastic to see. Rakowski wins it. Try to smack it forward there. Was the Racken Dunbar. Along the ground as Moreau goes in there and fights hard for the football. All being wrapped up there with Causley Todd. Right at the hand pass, Murphy Burke. Went backwards. Now driving it forward for Anchnes. Got it sideways and managed to find her teammate out there. It might be Blight that's got it, who goes now long towards centre half forward. Awkward bouncing football. Johnson Leach had it there, fired off the hand pass, too hot for a teammate, and Cameron had to go back and get it again, fires away at goal, and it's away to the left-hand side. Will register as another minor score. That sends the Sparks under 1-8. The USAFL All-Stars yet to score. Now, you saw one of the players that got a bit of the pill early for the Montreal Angels. Was number 5 in Valerie Moreau. She plays for the Eastern Devils in the Victorian Football League women's competition and trained over the summer of 2016-2017 with the Victorian Women's Football Academy. A quick shot on goal is across the face there from Rogerson, and it will go through for yet another score, but a minor score. And 1-3-9 for the Aussie Sparks of the USAFL, no score. We wait for the ball to be kicked back into play. On the right boot, bit of a chip kick, going forward. Oh, crunch! Had to be brave there going into that. Pulliam was coming at her like a freight train. She might be small, Pulliam, but she packs a punch. And it's a mark there for the Sparks player who'll be lining up for a goal from about 45 metres out on a slight angle. Slight cool breeze here at the Surf Cup Sports Park in San Diego. No real shade about to protect the wind, and the umpire's blown the whistle. I think he might have paid a mark. He has. So mark paid. Will be clearing from defence, calling for it in the middle of the ground. Is Coplow. Wants to go in her direction. Long towards centre half back. Maguire came out to try and meet it. Coplow beat it to it. Got on the right boot. Went long out towards the wing position. Quick little hurried hand pass there while getting crunched was Rogerson. Now moved it across to the half forward flank position. Blight tried to run onto the football. Beaten out for it. A New York Magpies back there. Goes with a bit of a grubber kick. Trying to find Gabrielle Bureau. Bureau, of course, a Canadian. Quickly got it and picked it up was Cameron, who goes for a hurried snap on the right to the right-hand side. And will register as a minor score, 1-3-9. The one thing you'll probably notice with the Australian side, rather 1-4-10 to no score, the one thing that you'll notice with the Australian Sparks side and the Americans, not only with the more fluent kicking action, with most of us Australians do pick up naturally, but it's the kicking with confidence. It's not like a poke at the ball. When they go for a goal from 40 metres out, it's kicked with authority. They kick properly through the ball, and they go for distance. You'll probably find a lot with Americans. They'll mark it 40 or 50 metres out, and they'll fall quite short with their kicks when they go for goal. Casillas was there trying to do the shepherding work. Did okay. Allowed her teammate, was who from Montreal, to do the work to get it long, but backing back to take it is Shailene Murphy-Burke, who was on the Geelong VFLW list. Went short with her kick, chased it up again. Oh, put on the dancing shoes. A little left, a little right. And unfortunately, the kick went a little left. And it will register as a minor score. 1-5-11 to the USAFL no score. First half of the first exhibition match between the Aussie Sparks and the USAFL All-Comers here on Field 3 at San Diego Surf Cup Sports Park. And the umpire's pulled out a free kick here. Now from a distance, I think it might be Blight that has the resulting free kick. Should be looking to go back and have a shot on goal from around about 30-35 metres out. Slight angle. And the breeze again, just pushing it to the left. That breeze is a right to left breeze. Probably 1 to 2 goal punch in it. It does pick up at times and then die off. And it is affecting some kicks. We've called that the left-hand side has been a bit of a dead pocket to this ground right across the weekend. 1-6 leads, no score. Long kick out of defence. Umpire's blown the whistle and said there was a push out there, and it will be a free kick. And by the look of it, going the way of Montreal and Gabrielle Bureau. It's the USAFL All-Comers, and of course I may call Montreal New York at the time because they are wearing their jumpers, of course, from their respective club teams. Very close towards the boundary line. Juggling attempt at the mark by Pescott, and the umpire said she didn't hold on to it. It went over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in. Nominating for the ruck there, Emily Maguire. Thrown back into play. She'll come at it. Nice leap, nice punch, but it goes straight over the boundary line and out of bounds. She was trying to put it down Melissa Freckleton's throat, but it was just to the right-hand side of her. Kat Hogg volunteering to do the coaching for the USAFL All-Comers. And Nicole Graves, the Swan Districts WAWFL League Premiership coach, is looking after the Aussie Sparks. Trying to go with a punch there was Talifer. Now getting it on there and trying to get a hurry kick away. Beskard now goes towards centre half forward. Now it's centre half back as the Magpies defender takes it and then tries to spot up Andreasen, who had the ball momentarily, then got dispossessed. In goes Grace Coplow. Tries to fire out the hand pass. Players going around left, right and centre. Trying to charge the way through. Wearing the helmet. You can't miss Tia Haynes from Victoria. Maguire bends down, can't quite pick up the football. Maybe held without the ball as Barreau went in for the tackle. Maybe one high there, still not paid. Ball does come out. Andreasen looks for Pulliam. Oh, look at that. A little left, a little right. I'm showing you the football. And then gets going on the left boot, goes long towards the centre half forward position. Foot race is going to be on here. He's going to try and get to the pill first. Holding it up there smartly was Kallasing, who manages to get it going in the Freckleton direction. Maguire, class as she picked that up on the right hand. Now goes towards the centre half back position. Does it well. Dunbar dispossessed of the football. Has support though. Trying to lay on the tackle there was Nicolette Clark from Sacramento. Just dancing around. The number 13 from Texas is Pulliam's teammate. I just don't have on my sheet at the moment. Gets it now into the hands of Causley Todd. Out towards centre wing. Bouncing football. Foot race is on. Bowling over a couple. Cameron wants to go in for a second effort. Umpire's blown the whistle and said there was an infringement in that play, and it will be going the way of the USAFL All-Stars. It's positive to see there has been a couple of times that the USAFL have managed to attack. So some did fear that it could be a one-sided game because the Sparks are a very talented side, albeit young. But it's good to see from a positive point of view for the growth of North American football. There has been a couple of attempted attacks and they putting in a good effort. Umpire blows the whistle, says that one's easily too high. That's an infringement. Sparks football. And of course, you can find more about the Aussie Sparks. Just Google Aussie Sparks and you'll be taken to their website. And no doubt you'll see about upcoming tours throughout the USA about those trying to develop their footy game in the hope of being taken in the AFL Women's Draft. As we know, coming up in 2019, the competition will expand, so they'll need more players, particularly out of Victoria and Tasmania for Geelong and North Melbourne. And then 2020, when the competition expands again, West Coast out of WA with Gold Coast out of Queensland, Richmond and St Kilda out of Victoria. So that means there'll be something like a good 120 spots available or in excess of up for grabs for those talented enough. As the ball comes back in towards Freckleton. Now playing, of course, for the GWS Giants after being taken as a free agent. Goes towards the forward line. Nearly put it on the chest of her teammate. Maguire feeds off the hand pass. A little to the left, a little to the right. A kind of a don't argue given off there by Varachnez, who goes long. It's a bouncing football in the goal square. Taken away on the last line of defence. That's great defence there. Big cheers from the girls on the left-hand side as part of the All-Stars. Ball out towards the back pocket. Trying to kick it up the line. Works out okay. Greg. Long kick, sits okay for Cameron to get onto. Kim Hemingway crashed into a teammate while trying to effect a spoil. Varachnez again was lurking around. Freckleton juggling in the left, got it back on the right, feeds off the hand pass to a running player in Peskard, who goes for the distance. Maguire waiting back there in the goal square, overran the football, hassles the player from Montreal out of it in Chang, close towards the boundary line. Will it go out? It does now. And we'll call for a throw in. Margot Legault seeing the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds. Legault not only playing for the Montreal Angels, also played for the Canada Northern Lights in IC17 in Melbourne this year. Ball thrown back into play. Freckleton busts away on the right. Does it come back? It doesn't. It's away to the right-hand side and registers as a minor score. So put that one down as 1-7-13 for the Aussie Sparks. USA yet to score. Great to have your company here on the USAFL YouTube channel as the ball is kicked long towards the half-back flank. Probably looking in the Coplow direction, but it doesn't quite get to her. Hemingway is going to come charging out for the ball. Pulliam as well, just put her head over it. Couldn't extract it. Now a big, long bomb. Bounces an awkward football in the back pocket now for the all-comers. Just trying to spin out of trouble there was Talifer from Montreal. Back to the Sparks with another attack. Freckleton was calling for it wide. She'll end up doing the shepherding work against Casillas. They've got plenty of space here to work back with. I mean, that's the one thing that's, I guess, the difference between the Australians playing the game and the Americans are still picking up as Peskett goes for a short kick. We'll explain that in a moment as Freckleton gets on the right boot. Margot Logo takes the mark. That the Australians, particularly as we taught the game, as it gets more professional, have told that not always is it attack, attack, attack. Sometimes the best option is to go back, wide, spread, work your way around to get the better option. It's Kim Hemingway who does the long kick, and Hemingway's busting her gut to try and get there. Callasing now has it. She goes up the line. Hemingway tries to get front position. She was fall from behind. Does well. Harasses her opponent constantly. Still in dispute there. Trying to get in there is Danielson. Ball on the deck, and the umpire's blowing the whistle and says that'll be a free kick. Coplow giving it away. And we'll put that now in the hands of Freckleton. Freckleton goes for a run. Kicks it in towards the middle of the ground, only for the ball to just sit up very nicely for their number 30 Taylor Ferguson. Taylor from Western Australia. Goes out towards the wing on the far side of the ground. Coming in late to lay the tackle, Nicola Ferranches, who's of course from the Stingrays, who won the Sydney Women's Premier Division flag this year. Bit of a don't argue sell, good work. Went over the head of Andreasen. Pulliam, right boot. Going towards centre half forward with a kick. Plenty of juice on it, but the Sparks with their athleticism just get back there easily. Shaylee Murphy-Burke spins around, goes with a hand pass, avoids getting caught. Now to Freckleton to work to space. Shaylee Murphy-Burke is there in support, but Freckleton doesn't need it, decides to go long. Coplow, boom, goes in, but doesn't hold her feet. Cameron does. Oh, Cameron turns her inside out, takes a bounce, couldn't control the football though. Stops, goes on the right boot, and gets a behind. Oh, she'll be filthy about that. She did all the good work. She got rid of two of them, and the bounce didn't quite stick. You could see the eyes lit up. She saw the goals, but the bounce just didn't quite come off. And another one to the scoreboard for the Aussie Sparks. See the move to 1-8-14. USA yet to score. We're playing two 20-minute halves here on field 3 of the USAFL Nationals, the first of two exhibition games being played by the Aussie Sparks touring side. Got plenty of players on the bench that want to come on and have a crack. All for the opportunity to play against not only an Australian outfit, but a class Australian outfit. Taking the mark there, Ash Gregg. Goes up the line, only for it to be intercepted. I think it's Blight that's got it there from a distance. Goes for the long shot on goal. It's just across the face. Here comes Maguire. Has to try and attempt to lay the tackle. Corrals the player, but they managed to get a long kick away, very close towards the boundary line. Alexandra Deacon chasing after the football, up against the boundary, can't hold it. Gregg's creating pressure, and the umpire blows the whistle. Now, it's on the far side. Did it go out, or will he call for a ball up? It is a ball up, in fact. And we're about 40 metres out for the Sparks goal, going to the southern end of the ground, left of vision. They clear the way. Rakowski again to do the ruck work from Montreal. Does well. Sparks football though. They kick it towards the hot spot, 30 metres out from goal. Looking for the space to open up. This is their opportunity. Just ricocheted off a player. Coplow goes in one more time, creating the pressure against Tiffany Blight from WA. And they managed to work it out well. Rakowski for the all-comers. She's from Montreal. Goes to Pulliam, who's from the Houston Lone Stars and the Texas Heat. Goes for a run. Gets past Dunbar. Kicked it in towards the middle of the ground. Only be intercepted by Murphy-Burke, who kicks it long towards centre half forward. Backing, though, to take the mark. Put that down to the helmeted number 16 in Haynes. Oh, Maguire went flying through the air, but just went about half a second early. And now a hurried kick on goal by Blight. Tried to kick it and soccer it when it was in mid-air, but missed it completely, and it went through for only a minor score. So 1-9-15 to no score from the USAFL. Full credit to the North Americans. The reason, I guess you could say, for the inaccuracy for the Sparks is the great pressure being put on by the North Americans. For the Sparks, for some of them, this is their first game of footy, actually playing a competitive hit-out in about 2 months. For some of them, it was like August, September, their actual local or state leagues ended for the year. And of course, they've been doing all that training, but they haven't had the chance to have a hit-out. So this is their first time in a while to blow off the cobwebs. Getting on the left boot was Haynes, but a mark taken back there deep in defence. I think it's Andreasen who's got it for the all-comers. She's from the Montreal Angels, who played in Division 1 Pool A of this USAFL Nationals tournament. Dunbar tried to lay in a bump. Going in there, Margot Legault harasses. Margot goes again, stops Leighton. Hand pass though, come out from Rakowski, pulling it away, goes for a run. In fact, that's Bagley, pardon me. Bagley, who played for the Texas Heat in Division 2. Ball bounced awkwardly though. Colasinga's back there, gives it off okay to Murphy Burke, who swings around, goes towards the far side of the ground, picked up by Cameron. Cameron on the right, going through there is Bagley again. Bagley, will it sit well for her? She's being harassed. She is caught by Dunbar. She manages to get the hand pass out. She didn't panic. I like that. That's good football. Rakowski tries to go in there. In goes Koplo. Wanted to get the hand pass out. Rakowski had it momentarily. It's hot potato football there at the moment, and it's like someone put Tabasco sauce on it. Ferguson goes long, was trying to find Johnson Leach. Umpire said chopping of the arms, free kick. Johnson Leach for the Aussie Sparks, looking forward, wants an option to present, or was that's the halftime hooter, so she will have a halftime kick. Will she have a crack from about 55 metres out? Slight breeze at her agency. Jason Leach right on the halftime bell. Right boot kick. It is long. Will it score? It won't. They hold it up. And that is the whistle to signal halftime in this women's exhibition match here at the Surf Cup Sports Park in San Diego. It is Australia 1-9-15. The USAFL all-comers, no score. We're going to take a quick break. In a moment's time, we're going to be joined by Eastern Devils and Melbourne Demons footballer Catherine Smith. You're watching youtube.com/USAFL. Peter Holden with you on commentary. Hope you're enjoying the game.
We're about to learn how to teach our kids / teach ourselves how to kick a footy.
Okay, tips to kick the footy. Number 1, nose over toes, which means just going to be over the football. You don't want to be looking up to where you're kicking, you want to be over the footy. Laces to where we're kicking it. We're going to drop it and we're going to point our toe.
Nose to toes, and then we're dropping and not throwing up.
Good, perfect. We can go home.
I love that summer feeling. I don't want it ever leaving. Breathing in the sky that's so clear. I could spend my whole life right here. I love that summer feeling. Now I'm here, I'm never leaving. Everything is possible right here. I love that summer feeling. Now I'm here, I'm never leaving. Everything is possible right here. I love that let go feeling. I feel my hands up on the ceiling. I think I'll spend tomorrow out here. 'Cause days like these feel like I'm dreaming. Yeah, ooh, I love that summer feeling. Now I'm here, I'm never leaving. Everything is possible right here. I love that summer feeling. Now I'm here, I'm never
Happiness is calling at sandiego.org.
My first game, I stood there and I was just like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm just gonna run. I just kept going and I kept going to practice, I kept going to the games, and eventually it just clicked. And I was just like, oh, I get it now, like this is fun.
Aussie Rules, is also known as footy, is the equivalent of like the NFL here, and so in Australia they call it AFL.
So in Australia it's still a huge sport, especially for the women. It's getting even bigger.
It's empowering for women, young women.
It's really great to just be able to run around and just have so much fun with a bunch of people that love the same sport that you do.
It just gives me this energy that I just can't describe, and it just brings me like so much joy.
It's a great physical outlet, but also the people that we play with are just so amazing.
These are the girls that if you want to dress up and go out, they'll be there for you. If you want to be in your sweatpants all day and eat chocolate and watch Netflix, they're also there for you.
I think that this sport has something for everyone.
I just feel like anyone and everyone should try it, give it a go, and just see if they like it.
If you're watching this video, it's not by accident. This is for you.
And welcome back here to San Diego Surf Cup Sports Park. This is the USAFL exhibition match between the Aussie Sparks and the USAFL All-Comers. Peter Holden with you on commentary. Great to have your company as we're about to begin the second half of the Aussie Sparks 1-9-15 leading the USA no score. Peter Holden from Girls Play Footy, and joining us here, if I'm correct, from Girls Footy Australia, with a marvellous academy that she'll probably tell you all about during this second half, Melbourne Demons footballer and star with the incredible club that is known the Eastern Devils, Catherine Smith. Smitty, how are you?
Great, thanks. Thank you for having me. It's what a great sunny day it is for footy.
I want to know one thing as well. You're like me. You're from Melbourne, got white skin. How the heck are you not like a lobster and I am?
I've applied a lot of sunscreen, and lucky Dad's a bit browner than I am, so get a good tan rather than burn up. So.
You're doing well. Now, you've come here obviously to help with the New York Magpies. You've done a bit of running, and as we speak, some of the New York Magpies players are out there lined up in position, just waiting for the Aussie Sparks to come out because Graves is still having a chat with them. How have you seen the skills of the American women? Because unlike us in Australia, not only not having the facilities that we have, that they only get to play a handful of games as anything more than 12-a-side a year.
Yeah, I think it's really hard for the girls because they aren't really taught from a young age like we are to kick the ball. So a lot of them are picking up the ball when they're 24 or 25 and trying to kick the footy. So for me, a massive thing was just teaching them the basics of how to kick and just giving them a little more tweaks that we as Australians, we get taught with your follow through and straightening up your hips and those type of things. And then other than that, their aggression and their want to actually play has been incredible. So that's something you can't teach, but they've absolutely nailed it.
One thing as well that I wonder how hard it is to try and, as I say, convert the language to Aussie rules is they come from a mix of sports.
Yep.
We're used to, obviously, in Australia, a lot of women actually coming from basketball now to Aussie rules. But we see in the US, strangely enough, some from roller derby, but the majority have come from rugby or Gaelic football backgrounds. Do you have to try and explain to them almost differently about the kicking styles? Oh, you're used to doing this, but you have to change to this?
Yeah, definitely. I think with the rugby, their plant foot is very crooked and they're bringing the hips around rather than actually being square to their player. So all of that is just making sure that they're actually straight and their follow through is going to their player. Lucky enough, most of them do play basketball. So to relate that to basketball is just that when you're doing your free throw, everything has to be going to the basket.
Score at the moment we've got is 1-9-15 versus no score on our card. We'll talk to you in a moment's time about what you've thought of the USAFL All-Comers efforts so far, and particularly some of the Sparks players out there. As Callising had the football, tried to get a hurried little hand pass off, didn't work out to Baranches, who nearly had her arm twisted behind her back as she tried to get the hurry kick away. Trying to go in there as well and fight hard for the football was Talifa. She couldn't get her hands onto it, but it did work out to Gabrielle Barreau, who unfortunately went the wrong way and went towards what is her half back, half forward for Emily Aguirre, who just did it one-handed on the right to pick it up. Got it over the top to Melissa Freckleton, directly in front of goal from 35 metres out and puts it through. What do you think there of the two AFLW recruits teaming up? Maguire, of course, now playing with Fremantle, and Freckleton with GWS.
I think they're just both elite and they have the skills. Emily Maguire played against her, played with her, and her ability to just pick up the ball one-handed and do a 5-metre handball, just open up space for her to run in for a goal.
It was a very good effort, and you could just see that one-handed. It was like, I'm keeping in control, and not even to use two hands, just have that one-handed scoop, pick up, and then just a clean disposal. And I guess the one thing as well that we've seen from the likes of also Murphy Burke and Moranchez and a few others is just that running to space.
Yeah. I think the spatial awareness from the Aussie girls is definitely what's helping them out, and the ability to switch the ball and actually just run with the footy.
Ball is in the middle of the ground. They put their hands up and they'll go again. Dunbar wins it down for the Sparks. Waited for a bounce and pushed it. But there's Valerie Moreau, a player that you'll know very well from the Eastern Devils. Gave up the little hand pass. Got it towards the Sacramento Suns footballer there in Westman, who managed to get it forward. Got it across to Kim Hemingway, who played an exhibition match with the Swans a couple of years ago. Got it on the right boot. Ball is bouncing. Jackknife in the goal square. Went to the left-hand side. Hemingway might almost chase up her own kick. She's running towards the pocket. Danielson holds it up. Almost threw it to ground. ground. Umpire just throws the hands up in the air, calls play on. Now it's locked in, and we'll call for a ball up. I'd have to say, very unlucky Valley Moreau not to get picked up in the draft. A few were hoping that she would have been a late round draft pick.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was very upsetting and disappointing not to see her get drafted, but it's hard. The youth girls coming up are very elite, and they know what's they're going to be the future of the game. Yeah. So understandably, the clubs tend to go for those younger players as well.
As we speak at the moment, the ball is locked in. There's Andreasen tries to get it out. Gabrielle Bureau wanted to get out a hand pass as well for Ranchez. Tries to extract it out of the pack. Ball came out to Koplo, who wanted to give the don't argue and just about rugby threw it away, but the umpire was blindsided and missed it. Ranchez now just going up the line. Was trying to find a teammate in Ferguson. Cullersing now had the football. Tried to hand pass it to get it into space. Schaefer was there as well over around the football. Went back to try and get a tackle, but a hurry kick going right in my direction, and I get a possession. Thank you very much. And taken right by yours truly, and we'll now see a kick in courtesy of Greg from the New York Magpies. You can't get any closer to the action than this as she kicks the ball towards the centre wing position. A traffic jam of Montreal players who didn't talk. The Sparks are standing around the outside wondering what's going on. And again, we'll call for a ball up. I guess the one advantage is for Moreau or anyone else in Australia or based elsewhere that wants to go at AFL Women's is the competition does expand over the next 2 years. And I think when you look at it, it's 30 players a side, 6 sides coming in. That's 180 spots to fill.
100%. I think it's amazing that those girls will get an opportunity, and it's only going to get bigger and better as they grow. And they play footy in the VFL, they're going to continue to get better and just be able to come into an AFL team and impact.
And with due respect to the TAC Cup girls, you can't fill all 180 spots with under 18. You're going to need that senior leadership and experience.
And I think there's still a lot of VFL girls out there who deserve to be in an AFL list and will be in the coming years.
As it now pops out to Moreau, who puts it on the right side of the boots. Danielson gets onto it and takes a mark. So from a Montreal Angel to a Sacramento Sun. She has the football from about 45 metres out, up against the boundary line. Wants to go the barrel, has a crack at it, got the distance, but not the accuracy, and it is away to the left-hand side. That is actually the USAFL All-Comers' first score, and they move on to one behind the Aussie Sparks 2-9-21. What have you thought so far about the USAFL All-Comers? Like the women that we've seen through the tournament, the aggression's been great, but I guess it comes down to what next, what they do with the ball?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of them are still learning, and you see them kind of stop and think rather than it come naturally to them. So that's just going to come with more game time and more training.
And here's an opportunity now for the Sparks. One bounce, almost 15, or is it too far? No, the umpire said it was fair. I heard a whistle, but it's obviously on field 4 right next to us as Pulliam tries to go in and create the pressure. But having a shot on goal, did it hook back on the breeze or not? It didn't. It was away to the right-hand side, and it was Taylor Ferguson from WA having a shot, and that now extends the lead for the Aussie Sparks to 2-10-22, leading the USAFL All-Comers one behind. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in the second game as well, because essentially the Sparks are playing a full game. They're playing 2 games back-to-back, 4 20s, so to speak. With the USAFL All-Comers in the next game, it's another fresh group of girls coming in.
Yeah, definitely. I think it probably evens out considering the USA girls have played 3 or 4 games, and hopefully the Sparks girls just keep their legs running and keep using space.
Tell us a little about Drake Casillas, who of course you've been staying with in New York.
Dre's an absolute great person. She's one of the most fantastic people I've met, and I think she's just absolutely striving with her football. She took a great overhead mark in our last game, and is just great defender, reads the play really well, and great to tack on the ball.
And just generally, what was the feel around the New York camp when they held on for that victory against Sacramento, getting the monkey off the back after a winless 2016?
I think they were all pumped. There was water flying, everyone jumping at each other. It was very exciting to be part of.
As Dunbar goes for a hand pass over the top. Pulliam had first hands onto it. Maguire, though, fired it out, but straight into trouble. And getting caught was Causley Todd, but the umpire said she was tackled a little too high and will get a resulting free kick. Gives it the hand pass to Shaylee Murphy-Burke, who now pumps it in long towards the forward pocket. Hit the ground. Gabrielle Burrow's lurking around for some assistance. Up against the boundary line. Greg gets the hand pass away. Hurry kick was looking in the Koplo direction. Colosine came out afterwards, bounced away from her. Doesn't matter, support there from Pescott. Had it, went inside 50 with the kick. The defence holding up okay for the Sparks. Oh, stiff arm there. Then on the right, comes out towards the centre wing position. Hands up for the football as Legault tries to, pardon me, it's not Legault, it's Telfer tries to go in there. Couldn't get the football out. Pescott there as well. Rolls over an opponent, and the umpire said, was it too high or holding the football. It goes for a holding call. As Chloe Leighton from Victoria now goes to find Emily Maguire. Maguire on the right boot, comes inside 50 with the kick. Drake Casillas went up 2 hands, hesitated, then went 1 hand at the last moment. Dunbar goes in, can't pick up the football. And one of the Suns players will kick the ball out of defence, trying to find Talipo, who's immediately wrapped up. Nice tackle, ball spills free. Murphy Burke swung it around on the right. Pulliam tried to park herself underneath the football. Gets it back again. That's Pulliam playing for the Texas Heat, based out of the Houston Lone Stars. Now taking the football with a hurry kick is Ferguson. Gets it inside 50. Dunbar's got the ball at her feet. Hurry kick out of the pack there from an Angels player. Puts it into the middle of the ground. Only, though, to be picked up by Corsley Todd. Had to get through traffic. Went straight down the guts. 1 hand put up by Casillas. At least stop the flow of the football. Hurry kick out of defence. Maguire comes flying over the top there of Greg. Ball hit the ground. Dance to the left, dance to the right. Try to get a hand pass away. And the umpire says that's a throw. And it's going to be a free kick to the USAFL. I guess the one thing I'm quite surprised by, we were expecting all one-way traffic for the Sparks, but the defence is holding up okay for the USAFL.
Yeah, I think they have some really good defenders in there, especially with Drea leading it with there, and just being able to spoil and put pressure on has been great.
As we await for the football to come back. Now, can you tell us a little bit about Girls Footy Academy? What have you set up in Australia, and what are you teaching the girls back there?
So we basically set up a program which allows young youth girls to be coached by AFLW players, and it's really about skills and giving them tools to become the best player they can be. So teaching them the basics of how to kick, how to pick up the ball, how to tackle, and do it in an environment where they are put under pressure and they have to actually put in the game sense as well. So we're trying to create extra development in the pathway between club and TAC to help them on their journey.
And I believe at least so far, some of them have been during the school holiday period, so not to interrupt, particularly for a lot of them when it comes to exam study period.
Yeah, definitely. So we normally run an 8-week academy, which is during the term once a week, but then the holiday camps and clinics are really popular because it does give the girls who are busy during school terms to actually have an opportunity to be a part of it.
As we see play go on deep in defence for the all-comers, I think it's Sentinel for Montreal. Legault kicked it off the carpet. Only be picked up, though, by Ferguson, who tried to get a hurry kick away, but got tackled as she kicked it, and it went out of bounds in the full. And again, for more information on girls footy, where can people go online?
They can go to girlsfootyoz.com.au. Girlsfooty.com.au.
Girlsfooty.com.au. Girlsfooty.com.au. Remember that address. Put that down in your web browser so you can check out all the latest information. As it was out of bounds in the full, Drake Casillas waiting to get play underway, and she does again with a long kick. Bagley was going to be no match in the height stakes there for Maguire. As we said earlier, pick 33 in the draft, taken by the Fremantle Dockers. Will play under Michelle Cowan, and her captain will be Cara Denellen, who of course is helping on the tour here for the Sparks. Drives it forward. Now an opportunity and a hurry kick out of the pack by Imara Cameron is away to the right-hand side, and that now sees the score tick along here to 2-11-23 to 1 behind. So dominance on the scoreboard probably could be a bit more accurate, to say the least, Catherine.
Definitely, I think that's been a theme all day with all the games.
And quick little hurried hand pass out of the pack. Was trying to get a player on the end of it, and Varanches, who was running nearby, dispossessed. Pulliam was there. And then Nguyen put the ball on the side of the boot. Maguire offers the shepherding work there for Ferguson to try and work her way back in board. Taking the mark, Johnson Leach from WA. Johnson Leach looking further afield. Umpire gives the hurry up. On the right boot, it is long towards the top of the square. And it is away to the right-hand side, and we'll see the Suns defence help out there to get it to Grigg of New York. Going in the Danielson direction, but taking a mark there and holding it confidently. Sentinel from Montreal, who goes for a hand pass, looking for Bagley, bumped off the football. Bagley wants to go back again for a second crack at it. Cole Singh now had it and then got it across to Freckleton, who was immediately dumped. And the umpire said no prior opportunity, and we will call for a ball up. I guess the one thing is we talked about kicking accurately earlier is as we've seen, if you're a goal kicker and you can put it between the big sticks constantly, you'll get a spot on an AFLW list, particularly, I guess, for the likes of the Western Bulldogs, who had a lot of midfield football, like the likes of Emma Carney and Ali Blackburn, but they didn't have the recognised forwards and sprayed a lot of their shots, and I guess a lot of opportunities went for them, and that was the story in some of their games.
Definitely, I think, and with having KB out, obviously that's massive.
Yeah.
She had an incredible BFL season, so she's just going to bring the fire for them.
As we see a kick by Freckleton, looking for Maguire, who got it back off the bounce. Maguire, does it bend back? It doesn't. And it will go through for yet another minor score, just extending the lead. We have it as 2-12-24 to 1 behind. Out of the players of New York and some of those that you've seen from the tournament, who's some of those that have caught your eye?
I think obviously Kim is an incredible forward. She has a great kick and great hands. I think it's just getting it to her. A team needs to be able to deliver forward out in front. And then obviously Grace, who just marked the ball then. She's a solid unit and is not afraid to tackle and just hunt the footy. And then we have our ruck/halfback Nat, who's an incredible athlete and has really good basketball hands, so which helps her a lot.
And one thing about Kim as well, she's a fiery customer.
Yes, she will tell you what she's thinking.
And at the moment, she's probably thinking, oh, that hurt, because she goes down and squints, but tries to jump up and shake that off. Her commitment to New York is that she actually lives in LA. Yeah,
definitely. She's committed to the jumper, and it's just great, so great to see.
Tackle laid on by Danielson. Thought it might have been a throw. Umpire allows a bit of the doubt. Andreasen tries to get it across to Moreau. Moreau picks up the football, is immediately caught, and the umpire said that's no prior opportunity as Freckleton takes it to the ground. That's great to see. A GWS recruit taking down a Victorian Women's Academy player.
Definitely.
As we see the ball go up in the air, and there's the punch forward from Rakowski, only to be sent back, courtesy of Rogerson. Fires the hand pass across. Ferguson draws a couple of players, runs through traffic, gives the handball off, like in the chain of handball here. They manage to get it back to Rogerson. Kick letter down though, as Koplo off defence with a long booming kick. Goes towards centre wing, only to be intercepted. Just absolutely pickpocketing in that Sentinel, who's close towards the boundary line. 1-2 and bounces, and almost a possession for Gravesy on the boundary. So we'll have a throw in a moment's time. Of course, you have Moreau playing with you at the Eastern Devils, and quite a number of Canadian players that have come through the journey. Obviously, Kendra Heil is out at the moment, as we know, with an injury, but you've had Jacqueline Holiday, Leah Van Sevenet. What do you think of the Canadians that have come through and tried their hands at state league football?
I think they've done very well. You can't fault their aggression and their tackling pressure, and they just want to learn has been incredible. They've been just sponges off all of us, and it's just so great to have them in the team. They really add to our culture.
And coming down to it skills-wise, I'll put the big judgment call on. You've seen Amy Legault, you've seen Kenny, Kendra Heil, and you've seen Valerie Moreau. Who's the better of the three?
They're very different players. I think Val's your in and under. Kenny probably has a bit more your outer space, run with the footy and probably kick. And Lego just is an absolute jet. Like, she'll hunt it, she'll get it, and probably has the skills up there as well.
That's media training votes, very diplomatic. Not picking one favourite out of that. Finding positives for all, but they're all very good footballers. And it's just lucky that you've had Legault and Moreau through your sides. Both officially players of the world, so to speak, as
Definitely.
in winning that title at IC14 and IC17 respectively.
Yeah, 100%. It's so great to have them.
As the hurry kick by Freckleton now goes very close towards the boundary line, going in to try and chase that is Johnson Lech, and the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. What have you thought from what you've seen of the Aussie Sparks so far? We know that they're a young side, 16 to 26, but many coming from the younger side. What have you thought of and even it was noticed by the USAFL girls, some of the smaller built players for the Sparks?
Yeah, I think it's good to see them actually get the head over the ball and not be afraid, especially with some of the US girls, the way they tackle. And their ability to just use their hands and get the ball going has been good. Their overlap with the footy has allowed them to just run and hit some good targets, and their ability to switch the ball with a good kick is what we're seeing right now, and that allows for a great forward line entry.
And taking that right now is Stephanie Rogerson from Victoria. Goes long towards the half-back flank. Just went through the hands there of Imara Cameron. Cameron being taken to ground there. And the umpire says it's a free kick for in the back against Rose McClough from Sacramento. Clough, of course, played as part of the USA Freedom team at IC17 this year. Now the kick back inboard. Has to be good. Sticks out okay to Chloe Leighton from Victoria. Leighton swings around on the right boot. And good mark taken getting underneath that Amara Cameron, and she'll be lining up for goal from about 25 metres out in the 45-degree angle. Smitty, you're lining up for here. You're having a shot. There's a slight cross breeze. Where are you aiming for?
Just slightly the opposite post of the wind. So just that little bit of an angle, because you hope the wind will take it through.
In the end, it was the bounce.
It was the bounce.
It jackknifed and came back, but that registers as a goal for the Aussie Sparks. They now move their score along to 3-12-30 to 1 behind. Not too long to go in this match here as exhibition match 1 at the USAFL. Also interesting to see, of course, there was big talk about Chloe Malloy and Isabel Huntington, who was going to go pick 1. Huntington got taken as pick 1. You played against Malloy at senior women's level. You played with Huntington at under 18s levels with the Vic Metro. Who's the better footballer?
Non-biased, I would go with Izzy at Huntington. I just think she's a bit more all-rounder. She's experienced, and she is one of the most beautiful people you'll ever meet. She really knows how to lead a squad and create a culture. Obviously, Chloe is just a fresh footballer. And I've said to her that she should probably have a few games in the back line so she can understand that defensive pressure, but her ability to just mark the ball and slot goals is incredible for a first-year player.
And I remember seeing her a game against St Kilda Sharks where she was sent to tag Bree Davey.
Yeah, I watched that. It was very good to see her actually put on some pressure and hold up with one of the best in our competition.
And I guess just to explain for those at home that are going to get to see Huntington, and particularly the Sparks girls that might be watching that, what is it about Huntington that makes her stand out as a footballer?
She's just so clean with the ball. She'll go up and she'll go to the ground and she'll pick up the ball. The ball just comes to her, and she has an incredible ability to just go to each contest and each contest. She is an elite runner, and I think that's really obvious in the way she plays.
And what's her training and preparation like? You've probably seen that up close. How does she prepare? And I know you're obsessed about training and getting things right for footy. How's her approach?
I think she's always very calm and collected before a game. She likes to get around everyone, have a little bit of a laugh, but definitely has her moment before she heads out to the field. And her pre-season, the way she works in pre-season, incredible. Coming off injury, she just is one of the hardest workers out there.
As the ball goes close towards the boundary line, trying to be picked up, Varanches is back there. Got it quickly onto the boot of Jason Leach, who sees the wind pick it up and sends it out of bounds on the full. And you talked about Huntington and Malloy being different footballers, different people as well. I know Malloy wants to get into sports media and do that, whereas a very different career for Huntington. She wants to be, hopefully in a few years' time, Dr. Huntington.
Yeah, she is an absolute genius. I think she did like maths methods in year 11 and killed it. Incredible person.
And what was probably frightening for everyone that did schoolwork with her, because of that she had her knee injury and she wasn't able to play, that essentially freed her up all that time to do all the studying.
Definitely, and yeah, she is one smart cookie.
As you never know, we've had Dr. Peter Larkins, we could have Dr. Izzy Huntington on the boundary in about 20 years' time.
Without a doubt.
With the diagnosis, as the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in at the half-forward flank position. Get ready for it to be thrown back into play as Rakowski goes front position. Grayson through her hands. Back to Maguire. Maguire, hand pass over the top, and that is full time here in exhibition match 1 at field 3 of the Surf Cup Sports Park in San Diego. The Aussie Sparks victorious 3-12-30 over the USAFL, 1 behind. Just taking a quick look at both sides, Smitty. First of all, your impressions of the Sparks there, I guess, of the players, their first hit out in about 2 months' time.
Yeah, I think it was good to see them actually utilise each other. Obviously, teams come from different states, but their ability to use their hands and actually hit up targets was great.
What about for the USAFL Combine team? Literally, they've all come together just a few minutes before the game. How did you found, they created great pressure, but them trying to work together and them trying to at least create some attack against the Sparks?
Yeah, definitely. I think they just need to get the ball moving forward. Some longer kicks, some run with the ball will definitely help them.
And just quickly as well, seeing this game and seeing the Nationals tournament that you have, for you, how far is that gap between AFLW or even State League football to what the USA girls now? What's some of the things that I guess they've got to try and work on so we close that gap?
I think it's just definitely the basic skills, like your ability to kick, pick up the ball and tackle well is what's going to allow them to actually create a good style of football and a really fast, exciting style of football.
Well, Smitty, thank you very much for joining us here for Exhibition Match 1. We hope you enjoy the rest of your break here in the USA. Make sure they look after you at the after party as
Thank
well.
you very much.
And well done for helping out the New York Magpies, and all the very best with Melbourne when you kick off pre-season training in a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much.
That's Catherine Smith from the Melbourne Football Club and the Eastern Devils joining us here on USAFL's YouTube stream. Today it was the Sparks victorious in Exhibition Match 1. We look forward to catching up with you in Exhibition Match 2. And that's coming up when you just click onto USAFL's YouTube page. You'll be able to find the video there. I'm Peter Holden. Thank you very much for joining us today. Mark Gonzalez was your commentary man. And, of course, very thanks to Rob and the Aussie Sparks for their help in putting this together. Until next time, it's bye for now.